Um, so hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our 2021 18th annual Student Leadership Dessert. And one of my favorite times of year, a time for our Thomas community to gather and celebrate your student leadership and contributions to our campus. We have at this point now spent just over a year adapting, changing, converting, keeping up with COVID, including all of the technology fun, much like tonight. We went from what is it? What is COVID? And how is that even going to affect us? To learning to support friends and family who have been faced with the health challenges of quarantining, isolating, perhaps mourning those who have passed as a result of COVID, feeling that impact of not hanging out with friends as we have in the past, having those casual interactions with people we don't really know who might later have become our close friends. And then on our end, also learning to navigate campus life with face masks and social distancing and a lot of limited numbers, much like we're seeing tonight. As student leaders and club and group leaders, you've been really challenged to think outside the box this past year, to lead, to engage, to plan and execute creative programs and interactions in the midst of a pandemic. And did you succeed? As Dr. Seuss would say, yes, you did indeed, 98.75% guaranteed. So tonight we're going to celebrate you, our student leaders of this past year, the students who have had titles next to their names, perhaps, the students who have identified themselves as leaders, the students who are striving to get experience and to engage in ways that others might see them, to be a leader even when they themselves don't necessarily see themselves that way. We're celebrating our students who live their lives and approach their work in ways that inspire others. So whether by title or by action or by hope or by dream, our students have stepped up to the plate this past year, and we're really here to celebrate you. Within the Division of Student Affairs, we're pretty mindful and purposeful that student learning doesn't just happen in a classroom, although much of that does, but opportunities for teaching and development exist everywhere and at all times on campus. We work really hard in our daily lives and our work to seize and celebrate those moments and foster and promote interactions. And despite the pandemic in the last year plus, that challenge has really been taken head on. I want to take a second just to thank and acknowledge members of our student affairs team who have really committed to providing our best out of classroom experience possible for all of you and work day in and out to foster that student engagement and leadership. So Martin and Jim, Lisa, Michael, I believe are right there in the auditorium. So thank you. Carol and Cheryl and Emma and Chris and Jody from Dining Services, all folks that work for the outside the classroom within student affairs. So here's the fun part of this virtual, semi-virtual event. You get to do the golf clap. So we'll just take a second and just do a quick golf clap, or if you want to put your little reaction clap up, you can do that as well. So thank you to our student affairs team. To President LaChance, members of our President's Council who are here tonight as well, our faculty and staff who are taking time this evening to join us either online or in person. We offer you that same applause and the same thank you to you for your commitment to our students. So again, a quick virtual clap, a golf clap for those present, to all of our faculty and staff. We're going to spend some time tonight to recognize our club and group leaders on campus. I'm going to ask that Jim and Michael help me out with that. And without these clubs and groups on campus, our student life and engagement just wouldn't be the same. It would be a little bit duller, not as vibrant, not as diverse, and not really providing our student body what they want and need in a very diverse way. Please know that our campus life is richer for all the work that our clubs and groups have accomplished over this past year. So in advance, I will say thank you to all of our clubs and groups. So Michael and Jim, I'm going to invite you to help me out on all of this. We're going to acknowledge our advisors, our club and group leadership, and a highlight or two for each of our clubs and groups as we go. For those who were involved in our club and group leadership, we will have certificates available for you in the Student Affairs office, probably starting on Monday of next week. So watch your email for that. So in light of not having you all come up on stage, I'm not sure what just happened there. There we go. Excellent. So we are going to start. I'll help you all out. It's going to be alphabetical. And Michael, if you'd like to get us started.
Perfect. All right, so we will start with Alpha Chi. Alpha Chi is advised by Jeremy Perry and led by President Lily Friars and President Megan Welsh. The top 10% of juniors and seniors are invited to participate in this honor society, and members participate in service opportunities as a part of their membership. We're going to move on to Campus Activities Board. The Campus Activities Board is devised by myself and led by President Riley Dwyer, Vice President Alicia Green, Secretary Caitlin Draper, and Treasurer Matheson Gearing. The group transitioned to COVID with providing mostly in-person events this year with extra precautions in place. Their highlight this year was Big Prize Bingo, which happened during Deep Freeze Week this year, boasting 180 students participating, with 50 of those students participating fully virtual. So big accomplishment for them. Congrats to the Campus Activities Board. And then next up, we have the Criminal Justice Club. The Criminal Justice Club is advised by Stephen Dyer and led by President Izzy Lang, Vice President Jake Galvin. The Secretary and Treasurer is Megan Welsh, and Zach Nadu. The club works to prepare students in the many facets of the criminal justice field and provides programming and speakers that prepare students for their field of study. One of the highlights this past year was the popular Clue-themed escape room that they had during Winter Carnival this year, that they built from the ground up. So they built all the props in the storyline for that program, and it took a considerable amount of time. I was around, so congrats to them on that. I'm going to turn it over to Jim.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here to recognize a few clubs. Continuing our theme of alphabetical order, we're going to recognize the Dance Club. Our Dance Club is directed by Michelle Cassavant and is led by senior Kaylee Coburn and student teachers Carissa Faber and Chrissy Dennis. The Dance Club meets regularly to learn and review dance techniques, learn new choreography, and gather as a collective team to appreciate the art of dance and share their passion with one another and our campus. Although COVID may have prevented some larger scale dance opportunities this year, the foundation is set for an amazing year of shared dance in the year to come. So congratulations to the Dance Club. Next, we'll recognize the Education Club. The Education Club is advised by Katie Rabakova and led by President Christina Bowman, Vice President Ashlyn Fitzgerald, Secretary Annie Jewell, and Treasurer Abby Bolvin. Focusing on advancing the field of education and child development, the highlight this past year for the Education Club was a successful clothing drive for the KVCC Teen Center. Over 20 large bags of clothing were collected and donated, helping people within our Waterville community a lot. Next up, I should have the person in the back who's running the camera come up and speak on this one, but we're going to recognize our esports club, our esports team. Our esports team is directed and run by Coach Martin Shalazine and is led with 7 teams on the roster that play across the East Coast Athletic Conference this year. And with COVID, most people believed that esports would transition smoothly into a world where it is mostly online. We learned quickly that is not the truth. Not being able to play in person and having teams of esports players in the same room is detrimental to a team environment. And we had a lot of growth this year on communication and really focused on that piece of their competition when they were virtually and remote. And all of our teams made playoffs in the ECAC either spring or fall semester. And we earned our first Player of the Week award for one of our students, Sam St. Owens, this year. So congratulations to the esports team. Next up is the Gaming Club. The Gaming Club is advised by myself and is led by President Travis Hunter and Vice President Spencer Morgan. They led their membership throughout the year in an area they love and are passionate about, gaming. Their highlight for this year is the annual Extra Life 24-hour charity gaming event, which logged over 400 hours of combined service and raised $290 for the local Children's Miracle Network Hospital, all in one 24-hour period. So congratulations to them. At this point, you're going to see Hannah again.
Awesome. I'd like to highlight our InterVarsity Club. InterVarsity is advised by Chris Rhoda and led by President Sierra Rhoda, Vice President Shannon Kostovic, Bible study leaders Isaac Robichaud and Gabriel Merrill, and Secretary Diane Mutoni. Meeting on a regular basis, this team and the students they led were faithful, pun intended, to connecting on a common basis of faith and community. They hosted successful Bible studies, both in person and virtually, throughout the entire year, and continue to inspire students who wish to connect and build bridges for those who choose to engage with them. Our Investment Society was advised by Dr. Jim Libby and Dan Leland this past year, and led by President Jacob Carr, Vice President Josh Biondo, Secretary Jason Hamilton, Historian Charlie Hitler, and Treasurer Ryan Skapansky. In an effort to learn about and plan for strategies related to investing and money growth and management, this group continued to invest and learn about the changing market in a COVID world. Michael, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Next up, we have our JMG Club. The JMG Club is advised by Nicole Lazur and led by President Christina Hutchinson, Vice President Matheson Deering, Secretary Alyssa Paquette, and Treasurer Keisha Peace. JMG has provided many programs on campus this year, notably one that happened yesterday. They had a cookie decorating event over in the Commons where they handed out cookie decorating kits. Hope you all got one. And also, they had their annual Giving Tree program that they do in December. And they had 62 tags, which equals 62 gifts for local children that were donated this holiday season. Next up, we have the orientation leaders. Our orientation leaders are led by Hannah Gladstone, Lisa Desautel-Poliquin, Michael Sales, me, and also Jim Delory. And they were led by their lead OLs, Lily Friars and Kyle Green. And all of our orientation leaders really provided a really awesome experience. We want to recognize all of them. So we had Meredith Wheeler, Sam Coughlin, May Alicia, Becca Kennett, Sydney Pinkham, Maddie Rock, Emma Mora. The orientation leader team took on the challenge of COVID. They ran a 3-day orientation program, complete with social distancing, face covering, and they adapted to additional safety measures as necessary. Our new students, as they came in, they were placed in 9 orientation groups, and each orientation group had their own schedule for the weekend. So talk about complicated, but it really went off without a hitch, and we are super grateful for all the work that the orientation leaders did. Next up, we have our peer tutors and our peer academic leaders. Our peer tutors are advised by Sarah Mills and include seniors Brendan Kern, Sean Cook, and Kat Pratt. Our peer academic leaders are coordinated by Matthew Nash. It includes seniors Katrina Kennedy, Ryan Skapansky, Nick Simpson, and Justin Wentworth. This group of leaders offered both in-person and virtual drop-in or scheduled tutoring, help to students in 9 subject areas. Their hard work each and every day assists our student body in being successful inside the classroom and provide peer-led sessions to ease the concerns of doing well academically. Our peer academic leaders provide peer-led team learning for our students, both inside and outside the classroom, and also work hard at encouraging and supporting student success. I'm going to turn it over to Jim.
Thank you again, Michael. Next up to recognize is Phi Beta Lambda. Phi Beta Lambda, or PBL/FBLA, is advised by Mark Marcellet and Roberta Kivitz, and they are led by President Tiffany White, Vice President Isaac Robichaud, Secretary Ryan Skapansky, Treasurer Nick Simpson, Reporter Gabriel Merrill, Parliamentarian Dakota Parody, and Historian Steele Young. A highlight this past year was when the group spread some holiday cheer with their Christmas tree display in the Commons, which served as a hiding spot for our resident elf, Tiny Tommy, one day. Next up, we have our Psychology Club. The Psychology Club is advised by Dale Dixon and is led by President Megan Welch, Vice President Scarlett McLaughlin, Secretary Seb Holland, and Treasurer Morgan Hutchinson. This club focuses on providing students involved in the psychology field activities and events that focus on discussions on psychology topics, experiments, and career-focused panels. I will turn it back to Hannah.
Thanks, Jim. Proud to talk a little bit about our resident assistant staff that I have the privilege of working with and led this past year by our lead resident assistants, Jennifer Snedeker, Isaac Robichaud, and Gabriel Merrill. The RA team also includes seniors, too many to mention, unfortunately, Sydney Abbott, Ariana Canistraro, Bethany Deemer, Jose Afonso Luis, Christina Hutchinson, Riley Dwyer, and Tiffany White. RAs not graduating quite yet include Sydney Plord, Susanna Owens, Steele Young, Parker Kennedy, Matheson Deering, Kyle Spalding, Jordan Magiera, Gavin Bourgoin, and Diane Mutoni. This team has shown an amazing amount of agility and commitment to creating a home away from home environment that not only meets all COVID guidelines, but also cares about our residents who have found themselves needing a little extra support while facing COVID or needing to quarantine this past year. They've provided in-person and virtual creative programs, floor meetings, and connections for their residents, and continue to work with all of our resident students as they wrap up this year in the weeks ahead. I'd like to also acknowledge our Rotaract Club, which is next, advised by Carol Gelada and led by President Megan Welsh, Vice President Sam McIntyre, Secretary Annie Dennis, and Treasurer Kelly Haggerty. The club relaunched the Period Project in the spring, providing complimentary feminine hygiene products and restrooms around campus, and continue to support our campus food pantry initiative that they started last year. They hosted a campus cleanup each semester and food drives for the Waterville Food Pantry and Homeless Shelter.
All right, next up, we have our student ambassadors. The student ambassadors are overseen by Abby Dooley. Are we good? Are overseen by Abby Dooley and are led by seniors Kyle Green, Kyle Gleason, Sydney Pinkham, and Audrey Kimball. Continue to inspire future Thomas Terriers to attend college through their traditional and virtual tour options this year, and work hard to bring student input into the recruiting process here at Thomas. Next up, we have our Student Athlete Advisory Committee. They are advised by Mike Zemrak and led by co-presidents Megan Bernard and Kyle Gleason, social media coordinator Lauren Bartlett, secretary Aubrey Schaefer, and historian Kat. In a challenging year for collegiate athletics, this group remained committed to supporting our student athletes and building excitement around programs and their players. They also help to staff the sports-themed games at the annual Winter Carnival. I will turn it over to Jim.
Hello again. So I get the honor of doing the last three. So we are going to start with the student philanthropy team. The student philanthropy team is advised by Carrie Smart and Amanda Wrigley and is led by President Maddie Rock, Vice President Liz Sanborn, Secretary Bree Simpson, and the Treasurer Maddie Cheplick. SPT, as they are more affectionately referred to, highlights their spring scavenger hunt in lieu of their annual back off, as well as hosting a successful virtual big prize bingo on the day of giving. So thank you to the student philanthropy team. All right, this one's a long one, so I should better not trip on my words on this one. Next up is Student Senate. Student Senate is advised by Hannah Gladstone and led by President Kyle Green, Vice President Emma Mora, Treasurer Parker Kennedy, and Secretary Andy Dennis. Representatives include Jennifer Snedeker, Duncan McDougall, Sam McIntyre, Griff Mayhew, Tiffany White, Ryan Fitzgerald, Maddie Rock, Maya Brainerd, Sophia Linger, Alex Blander, Charlie Hippler, and Zach Warren. Although not the typical year for activity within the Student Senate, they were faithful to regular meetings and keeping a pulse of the student body. They met with key departments and individuals on campus to continue their work advocating for student needs, concerns, and positive feedback, work on campus committees, and help to facilitate campus conversations with students, the student body in regards to COVID this year. The Senate is looking forward to growing and getting back into some traditional events next year with their late night breakfast with bacon, semi-formal dance, and summer send-off concert. Stay tuned for lots to come from the Senate in the year ahead. And finally, yearbook. Our yearbook is advised by Emma White and led by editor Caitlin Young, secretary Summer Hotham. Even with a small staff, the yearbook team has captured many memories this year while adapting to the changes with COVID along the way. They created new spreads with different areas of focus in the non-traditional year, while capturing that smile is something that has to happen with the mask on. There we go. Oh.
All right, hang on just a second. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you to Michael and Jim and all of our clubs and groups. Take 5 seconds and give yourselves a big hand. For some of you, that'll be nice and quiet if you're muted. But appreciate yourself and the hard work that you've put into this year for all of our clubs and groups. A huge debt of gratitude and thank you to all of you. Job well done. We're going to swap gears a little bit to some special awards, and that for us will start with our programs of the year. All of campus had an opportunity to nominate programs of the year under 3 different categories, under social, educational, and community service. And then we had a committee of staff who were elected in to, I'd say volunteered, but I'm not sure that that was true. But they came together to review all of the nominees and really sit with those hard decisions to determine some winners for this year. So for our top 3 programs in each of those categories, or our top programs in each of those 3 categories this year, I'd like to bring Jim back to that podium and announce our social program of the year.
All right. Yes, I walk slow. All right, social program of the year. This program was nominated as a top social program because it offered healthy opportunities for our students to interact with others and met all goals, stayed within budget, and helped to improve the quality of campus life for students. Before I announce the winner, I want to give runner-up acknowledgements to the following clubs for their social programs this year that were outstanding. The Campus Activities Board for Big Prize Bingo, and the Campus Activities Board Secret Circus during Welcome Week. But the winner of the social program of the year is awarded to the Criminal Justice Club for their Deep Freeze Week escape room. This program built an escape room for students to participate in during Deep Freeze Week and included all of the planning, acting, and execution of the program to engage lots of students through the duration of the event. Congratulations to the Criminal Justice Club.
Michael, would you like to join us on stage to announce our educational program of the year? Like you knew I was going to call on you.
I would love to, Hannah.
Thank you, Michael.
Our educational program of the year. This program was nominated for its excellence in educating our campus community, was appropriately geared towards expanding the minds of our students, as well as being well received by the campus. Before I announce the winner, I want to give a runner-up acknowledgement to the Psychology Club for their internship opportunity program. The winner of the educational program of the year is awarded to the JMG Club for their career panel event. This cooperative program was a partnership with JMG programs at KVCC and UMA. It featured 6 panelists on a virtual format and brought in 39 students to learn about potential job opportunities and skills they should hone in on. Congrats to the JMG Club.
My pleasure to announce our Community Service Program of the Year, a program designed to reach out to the Waterville or Thomas communities with the intent of helping others. And as one can probably imagine, in the world of COVID, a little bit more difficult to get out into the community to do service, given so many of the restrictions and health concerns across all of the country, actually. Before I announce the winner, much like others, I want to give a runner-up acknowledgement to our Rotaract Club for their food pantry program that gives back to our very own students on a regular basis. The winner of our Community Service Program of the Year is awarded to our Education Club for their Clothing Drive program. In November and December, the Education Club hosted a clothing drive for the KVCC Teen Center. They placed a tote in the CIE to collect donations and advertised to campus and through education classes and collected nearly 20 bags, fairly large bags, of clothes to donate. This donation benefited our local community in ways that we may never fully know or understand. Congratulations to our Education Club. Go ahead and clap, auditorium, I can hear you. We're going to move into our individual awards at this point, and it will be my pleasure to introduce Student Senate President Kyle Green to kick us off with those individual awards, to announce our Advisor of the Year. So Kyle, are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but we can't see you. There you are.
Okay. My Wi-Fi is being a little glitchy, so as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. And you said you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Olivia wrote
All right.
here, Kyle. Perfect. You're good.
All righty. So before I started to speak about the recipient for this year's award, I just wanted to stop for a minute and give a sincere thank you to all of the students, faculty, and staff. Some of the students in this very room or on this very Zoom call are the reasons why we are able to have a welcoming, safe, and successful school year. We know it takes leaders of all kinds to make things happen and to keep things going. The reason we're able to have such a stellar year is because of the community we hold at Thomas. With the Club and Organization Advisor of the Year, I love presenting this award as it acknowledges a lot of unseen work. A vast majority of clubs and organizations are student-led, which is fantastic. However, there are several responsibilities that the advisors take on. When Student Senate created this award, the main purpose and focus was to acknowledge all of the hard work and dedication that an advisor provides. To all the advisors that are with us tonight, thank you for taking the time out of your already busy schedules to assist students in something they're very passionate about. With our recipient tonight, I am extremely proud and honored to talk about her. This recipient is nothing but hardworking, caring, genuine, and extremely dedicated. Our recipient provides so much optimism and positivity that its leader and club members are able to excel in an environment they enjoy. The individual was nominated multiple times by various students. There were so many great things that were said. Something that was said by a student is the following: she is a key pillar in how our club is ran. Without her organization, I know that us students would struggle significantly. She has proven that she wants our club to thrive through her words and actions presented to our club. I think those words perfectly explain the character of this advisor. Knowing this advisor my past 4 years at Thomas, I can say that from a student's perspective, she is nothing but giving and caring for the student body. She genuinely cares how the students are doing. If all of these attributes do not show how deserving this recipient is, I don't know what else could. To this recipient, thank you for all you do and being a role model that so many students look up to. Thank you for being a pivotal staff member during such a difficult school year. And thank you for working hard, tirelessly, and diligently for your club. With that said, I would like to announce that the 2020-2021 Club and Organization Advisor of the Year goes to Amanda Wrigley for advising the Student Philanthropy team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I'm extremely caught off guard. Thank you, and shout out to Carrie Smart for helping me and our team, and shout out to all of our students because we couldn't do it without them. So
All right, thank you, Kylan. Congratulations. We are going to continue with the individual awards, and those are going to start actually right now with our advisor of the year. We should do that again one more time, Kyle. Hit it. Just kidding. Now she knows who it is, so it will take, you know, the fun out of it. But our Unsung Hero Awards. This year, we are going to present two. For the Unsung Hero Award, what we look for, we try to look at the we do look at the nominations that you all put in for people that you know that are contributing, often behind the scenes in a quiet way, but really drawing attention to the success of projects or the organization that the student is working with. The student is asked to be really that critical member of a team that makes everybody feel a little bit more effective at the work that they do. So again, this was opened up to the entire campus community. Nominees were plentiful to get through. Our committee had a tough time really trying to hone in on even just 2 award winners, but we have them. So tonight we do have the 2, and our first is awarded to a quiet individual, described as quiet until you get to know them. They joined a fairly outgoing and gregarious club on campus, and leadership for that club was a little concerned that perhaps that student would not return after their first meeting, but they did. And then they became a little more engaged and offered to help more and more, to the point that they were at more events than they were not. The student thrives on being behind the scenes and just being their helpful self, carrying things, setting up equipment, wiping down surfaces or sanitizing, etc. The student keeps watch for COVID safety. They assist others. They work all shifts, whether they're asked to or not, does what most would consider to be the boring jobs, and cited as one of the most helpful students ever to work with. They inspire and impress others because of the work that they do, and that it's work that they know needs to be done, and it's not done for recognition, it's done because it needs to. For his dedication and commitment to the Campus Activities Board and to campus as a whole, please help me congratulate our first Unsung Hero recipient, first-year student, Donald Wetmore.
Is Donald here? Donald's here. He's gonna come down. Come on down, Donald. We'll get your award for you. Hey.
Donald.
Here you go. I can't shake your hand, but I can give you that. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations to Donald. Nice that he's right there and can get his award. Our second individual is nominated because during their time at Thomas, they've always been supportive of events. They offer a sincere, friendly hello when passing people in the halls or on the walkways. They have a positive attitude. They lend a helping hand wherever and whenever needed, and has been consistent for their past 4 years at Thomas. Notably, during an orientation weekend, this student worked with their students to keep them engaged and to provide additional support to some of our quieter folks. They could be seen one-on-one with a student offering encouragement, and would check in with them often during and after orientation when they were seen in the hallways. Over the past year, this student has helped our community to stay informed about COVID health and safety guidelines. I fear I'm about to unearth who this is in about 2 seconds. Their famous videos provide friendly reminders and updates on important information as we all experience COVID fatigue. The student's energy and passion for being a terrier are admirable. The student, much like Donald, doesn't seek recognition. They lead by example, helping to make a difference within their Thomas community and ours. For her love of Thomas and commitment to our campus, our students, our staff, and helping others and their community, please help me to congratulate our second Unsung Hero Award recipient, senior Rebecca Becca, on the quad, Kennett. Is Becca there? I'm not sure if we're waiting to see her up on, no. So everybody give a good shout out to Becca. Excellent, thank you. Our next award is our Dean's Award for Leadership and Community Engagement. This award is being given to a student who has shown outstanding leadership and engagement in their work on campus during the time that they have been a student. This year, the award goes to an individual who has truly served the campus community. They've done so in a variety of ways and in a variety of roles. This is not somebody who has sat back and watched things happen, but rather has taken the initiative to jump in and be a part of what is happening. If it wasn't happening already, this is a student who made it happen. The student balanced being a leader on campus while also maintaining a cumulative GPA worthy of Dean's List. The student has been described as an integral team member with a reputation of being dependable, responsible, knowledgeable, enthusiastic, and just a little involved. If you need a hand with something that you're working on, this student is pretty quick to volunteer and offer to go above and beyond, as long as they're not already committed to a class or another campus event, which is a fairly rare occasion that time would happen, but they're also known for making that time, even if it meant having to give up something personal, a personal commitment to help out. The student is welcoming in ways that engage the most outgoing student and the quietest introverts. They've excelled in their roles on campus, which are numerous and have varied from campus clubs and organizations to membership on campus committees, work study positions, and other leadership events. This student is seen at many events on campus, whether they help to plan them or not, and has been acknowledged by some as one of the most involved students and positive influences on campus. Personally, I would describe this student as a solid leader who asks for feedback and wishes to grow and develop with each new opportunity. A student who focuses on the growth and well-being of people and in the community in which they belong. If I began to list the involvement that this student has had on campus, we'd need to give you not only a box of desserts, but a late night snack as well, as it would take about that long to get through their accomplishments. Highlights for this student include their commitment to the Campus Activities Board, Love Your Melon, the Education Club, Orientation Leader, Student Ambassador, Student Philanthropy Team, Yearbook, and perhaps, maybe selfishly, I would say an outstanding 4-year commitment to our Student Senate and 3-year commitment to serving you, our student leaders, as your Student Senate President. Congratulations to our 2021 Dean's Award for Leadership and Community Engagement, our recipient, Kyle Green. Congrats, Kyle.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Your 5-minute speech will start in 10 minutes. Get going. I'm just kidding. I'd like to introduce Lisa Desatel Poliquin, our Vice President for Student Affairs, to present our Gold Key, Collegiate Crest, and Thomas Awards.
All right, so it's hard to- all right. Ooh, great light, great light. All right, so thank you very much. And I guess I would just start, and I don't normally have anything, a ton to say, but I think this year I do, not a lot. But I wanted to share a huge heartfelt thank you. As the office that took some responsibility for sending you home last spring, aside from President LaChance, when you work in student affairs and all you do and your passion is to work with students, to have to ask you to leave last year was probably one of the most challenging things I've done in my career, because I didn't want to see you leave, but I also wanted you to be safe. And so our commitment was to bring you back this year in whatever way that we thought that that would look like. And over the summer, we tried to make these plans of what it would look like with all these hybrids and plan 1, 2, and 3, A, B, and C, in person, what could we do? And we had plans ready for you. And when we came back, ever since from early start to the RAs and orientation leaders who came in, and then as students began to come back and you screened and you tested and you followed the protocols, I can't even tell you how proud I am of you. What an awesome thing you are as our community to say, here we are 9 months later, or 7.5 months later. I can be honest to say there were a lot of folks that thought back in September, by October, we'd be sending you home again. And we wouldn't, COVID would kind of overtake and we weren't going to be able to be as serious about it or maybe as committed or as strong of a community because we really were going to get too much COVID fatigue or whatever it would be. And here we are 7.5, 8 months later, we're 3 weeks, and I'm going to knock on every piece of wood. We are 3 weeks from commencement. We have a hybrid leadership dessert. We are celebrating you, and we're celebrating all the work that you did. Thank you, thank you. It's amazing. You guys are awesome, and folks who are virtual, you're awesome as well. We couldn't, do any of this without you, and I'm extremely proud to be a Terrier and to be working with you as our students. So that's my spiel to start. I also have the privilege to say that if you are here tonight, we do have, and you are an award recipient or a Program of the Year award or any of those, we have your certificates and we can get them to you afterwards. But my purpose of why I was invited by Hannah to participate, I'll get to that, is to really talk about our student key awards tonight, the student awards that you had the opportunity to nominate. Right? The Gold Key, the Collegiate Crest, and the Thomas Award. To be eligible to even be nominated, you need to have at least a 3.0, right? That's the important part of student leadership and student involvement, is that the primary piece is you are a student first. So academics is something that we put at the very forefront. Beyond that, we asked folks, you could self-nominate, you could be nominated by a faculty or staff or another student. And then those awards and nominations came in, they're compiled, and they go to a committee. The committee is comprised of the Faculty Student Life Committee, so a subgroup of the faculty, as well as some representation from Student Affairs. And then our job, and it's a very, I think it's always the most challenging, is to sit back and be in awe of all that the students have done and try to select this year's recipients. Not easy. So I'll give you a little bit of an overview of what each person who's an award recipient has been involved in. I can tell you they're not exhaustive lists. This isn't about just listing everything people are involved in. It's about showing how folks are making a difference. So our Gold Key are for our first year students. And those are our students who are starting to make a difference, right? We're beginning to see you as leaders on campus. You've begun to kind of put your mark here at Thomas, and we have great hope for the things that you will be doing over your time here. Our first recipient is a member of CAB and an orientation leader in the Criminal Justice Club, a forensic psychology major, Brianna Langton. Out of screen for a minute, so I can get this to you. Congratulations. For those who are here, they're going to get their awards, so I apologize if I'm going in and out of some screens. Our second recipient was a member of the Fall 2020 Leadership Academy, is a member of the Student Philanthropy team, does some service, and was part of the volunteers at the Home for Little Wanderers, and has also been part of the Olympia Snow Women's Leadership Institute, a psychology major who I see virtually on here, shaking her head, Olivia Rowe. Congratulations. We will get you your award.
Thank you so much.
Our third recipient is part of the art club, also participated in this fall's Student Leadership Academy, participated with the International Club, will be an orientation leader in the upcoming year, participates in a lot of service projects, the Thomas All-In projects, which are here on campus, and has helped with the yearbook as the secretary and accounting major, Summer Hotham. She's here. Her mask is grateful. How sweet. Our next recipient, part of JMG and TRIO here on campus, will be an RA in the upcoming 2021-22 academic year, participated in the Leadership Academy, and as a caretaker for several family members. A psychology mental health major, Kaylee Ferguson.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. And she works in SFS. And our last recipient is a student ambassador who was very active in participating in the Fall Leadership Academy. Part of the student philanthropy team, is a student athletic advisory rep and a member of the men's lacrosse team, a forensic psychology major, Owen Orlando. I believe I saw him on the screen as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
And we hope you're recovering from.
I can.
All right, so congratulations to our first year students at the Gold Key. We know and we expect to see things from you, and over the time that you're here, as you see your upperclassmen who are also, parts of clubs and groups, we know that you'll be able to take over and fill those shoes. Our Collegiate Crest Award recognizes our sophomore and junior students, kind of the folks that are really living and contributing to Thomas and really helping to enhance our campus environment. Our first recipient is part of the Accounting Society and the Special Olympics Club, is a student ambassador and part of Student Athletic Advisory Committee, is the NAC, the National Athletic Conference Student Athlete Advisory Committee, as one of the counselors representing Thomas, part of the women's soccer team and the track team, and does volunteer work outside of Thomas at the Maine Collegiate Little Circle, and a volunteer with the Shine On Cast Foundation, and accounting major, Megan Bernard. Thank you. Our next recipient, just a few short years ago, was part of the 2019 Leadership Academy, participates in Love Your Melon and the Student Philanthropy team, has been a student ambassador for 2 years, serving this year as one of the lead ambassadors, has been an orientation leader for 2 years, and has been selected to be a lead OL going into the fall with our new team, a 2-year member of the women's lacrosse team, a psychology major, Cindy Pinkham.
No, that's okay. Thank you
Congratulations.
so much, Lisa.
Our next recipient participated with esports and intramurals, is part of PBL as the main historian, and an RA last year. Going into next year will also be an RA, and has assisted as a judge with PBL for the Maine and New Hampshire Future Business Leaders, an entrepreneurship small business major, Steele Young. For those of you on virtual, Steele's got a pretty sharp black jacket on tonight. Looking dapper. Our next recipient participated also in a Leadership Academy, the Love Your Melon and the Special Olympics Club, is a student ambassador, a 2-year member of the women's soccer team and Student Athletic Advisory Committee, has been part of the service Saturdays at Thomas, also does Pee Wee soccer, or has helped with Pee Wee soccer, has moved beyond that herself, a criminal justice major, Abby Schaefer.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And our last Collegiate Crest recipient, I participated in the Leadership Academy. It's kind of a theme there, right? Not everybody, but we lay the foundation. Participated with the Psychology Club and the Student Philanthropy team in intramurals, student ambassador, member of the women's softball team and the women's soccer team, was an orientation leader last year during our challenging COVID year, then a peer tutor, a member of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, and a student senate rep, a psychology poli-sci major, mix up, Maddie Rock.
Congratulations. Appreciate it.
And then we get to our Thomas Award. Our Thomas Award honors 2 seniors, nominees again selected on scholarship, leadership and service to Thomas, to our community, and really making a difference during their years at Thomas, leaving a mark. Before announcing our 2 recipients, and as you realize for Gold Key and Collegiate Crest, we have multiple recipients. Every year, we know this, Thomas Award are 2 students, and that's probably the most challenging thing that the committee has to do every year. Before announcing our 2 recipients, I do want to recognize the students who were nominated for the Thomas Award, because I think that just the nomination itself brings recognition and thanks for all that they've done for our campus. And as they move on and graduate, we know that they've left their mark here. So the students who were nominated: Sydney Abbott, Nikki Bradstreet, Lily Friars, Kyle Green, Samantha McIntyre, Mackenzie Oberhoffer, Kathleen O'Kelly, Jennifer Snedeker, and Megan Welch. Thank you for the work that you've done and how you've helped to enhance our campus during your time here. Thank you. Our first recipient of the Thomas Award participates with the Criminal Justice Club in Love Your Melon. During their time here, they've been part of the Psychology Club, have been inducted into the Alpha Chi, serving in its leadership roles, has participated with Rotaract, and again, in leadership roles, had a vision and was helpful in developing, maintaining, implementing, and now sustaining our food pantry here at Thomas. A psychology, dual major, psychology and criminal justice major, Megan Welch. And our second recipient, an education major, participated with Leadership Academy, part of intramurals and student ambassador, part of the education club in Love Your Melon. Been a 3-year orientation leader and a lead OL for 2 years. Has been president, vice president during their time when they were inducted into Alpha Chi, and a 4-year student athlete for the women's outdoor and indoor track and field team, Lily Friars. All righty, so I think I'm turning it back over to Hannah.
Thank you, Lisa. And congratulations to all of our individual award recipients, our club and group award recipients. Just being nominated and part of the selection list, if you will, is a huge honor, and congratulations to all of you. John Maxwell once wrote, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." And showing the way this past year is our own president of Thomas College, Lori LaChance. She does that every day, and I'd like to invite her to come to the stage to share her thoughts with you now.
Well, thank you all. It's such an honor to be with you tonight to celebrate each and every one of you who's here in person and here on the screen. You've added so much to the life of Thomas College. I do want to start because hearing Lisa speak tonight, I really have to say that our ability to come together and be on this campus and stay healthy and safe and do all the things we love to do and being part of a community. Really, the one person who did more than anything 24/7 to make that possible was Lisa Desautel-Peloquin. Please join me in thanking her. She and the mighty team of Student Affairs have really led the way this entire year. I want to thank all who are involved in this event and setting it up. I want to say thanks to all the faculty and staff who have helped you to with all of your activities over the year. And I want to say thanks to all the students for participating. You really brought life to our campus throughout this year, through all of the ways that you've engaged and made this campus just come to life. Thank you so much for that. Tonight, we celebrate you for living the mission of the college. You hear it from Provost Edwards every time he enters a room. He'll talk about the mission. And the mission is so central to who we are and what makes Thomas Thomas. Thomas prepares students for success in their personal and professional lives and for leadership and service in their communities. Tonight, we're going to celebrate every aspect of that. We celebrate the personal growth you've had through this year, and for those of you who are upperclassmen, through the prior years. The professional knowledge you've gained by being a part of different clubs, different organizations, growing into leadership roles. The leadership skills that you've honed over the years. Leadership is something we have to work on every single day, every single year. And you've done that through all the things you've participated in. And the spirit of service that you've shown in each and every club that you've served on. All of these attributes are going to serve you for the rest of your lives. In your lives and in your careers, these experiences that you've had will help you to grow into your greatest potential. You've been leading through a really difficult time. The challenge of this pandemic have been just plain hard. It's been a tough year. Everything's harder, everything's more complicated, everything we've had to figure out. But you've done it. It's been tough, it's been challenging, but it's made you stronger, and it will serve you well. Yet, you're leaders. You've emerged as leaders, you serve others over yourself, you know and live collaboration, and through a myriad of activities, you've learned how to be very creative. You've demonstrated that you're all terriers, loyal, nimble, and tenacious. And each and every one of you here tonight has demonstrated all of those attributes. I once heard a quote that said, if serving others is beneath you, then leading others is above you. And I tell you, from all we've heard tonight and what I witness each and every day, this is a group of servant leaders. Service strengthens leadership. In my mind, humility defines greatness. Each of you model the very, very best in service and in leadership. So congratulations to all of the award winners tonight. But congratulations to all of you for engaging yourself fully in the service and leadership of this college. Each and one of you, every one of you, have earned all of our respect and our gratitude. Congratulations all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for being there in our auditorium with our participants who are live and sharing your words with all of us, both virtually or live. All of us are on a journey, and at one time or another will serve as leaders or followers. We hope that as you continue as students to grow in your leadership roles at Thomas, or for those who for us are sadly graduating, we're excited for you too, but it's a bittersweet piece. But for those who are moving on to that real world, you realize your natural abilities and talents mixed in with that hard work and dedication will grant you the ability to achieve great things wherever your journey may take you in the future. This past year has certainly been a wild ride, and one that nobody could ever have predicted or planned for even 2 or 3 years ago, but here we are. Successful as a campus, thanks to many of you and the hard work and dedication you have had, not only to your own leadership development this past year, but to your clubs, groups, and our campus, for helping to hold each other accountable for the health and safety of all, for providing support to one another when needed most, and for adapting to that ever-changing list of rules and necessities for health and safety on behalf of everyone. Thank you for giving back to Thomas College in your leadership roles this past year. I'm going to end tonight's celebration of leadership, as I do every year, with the words of Theodore Roosevelt. The credit in life does not go to the critic who stands on the sideline and points out where the strong stumble, but rather the real credit in life goes to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face may get marred by sweat and dust, who knows great enthusiasm and great devotion and learns to spend himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrill of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that in his life, his place will never be with those very cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Thank you, students, for being in the arena this past year and for celebrating with us tonight. Virtually or in person, it is nice to see you and fun to celebrate. If you are an award recipient, Program of the Year, or one of our individual awards, we're going to ask that you stick around, again, either virtually or in person. We're going to attempt to get some fun photos. This might be the most creative photo time we've ever had after a leadership dessert, but we're going to do it. We're going to pull it off. And by we, I mean our yearbook folks are going to pull this one off. So thank you to all for coming, for sharing our celebration tonight. For those on Zoom, this is a chance to say goodnight to you, and thank you for those in person. Thank you as well. Have a good night, everybody.